Have you ever stopped to think about why some men have a natural magnetism that draws attention effortlessly? The answer may not lie in seduction tricks or magic formulas. In fact, the essence of this charm lies in millennial principles, the teachings of Stoicism. Stoicism is a philosophy of life that was born in ancient Greece and flourished in Rome, teaching men to deal with external chaos through internal order. Names like Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius have guided generations with their advice on courage, self-control, and purpose. In a world where most people are reacting to emotions and impulses, the Stoic man stands out for his calmness, presence, and firmness. It's not just about looking safe, but being safe, something that high-value women perceive almost instinctively. These habits are not techniques to conquer, but ways to become a complete man. A man who does not seek external validation because he is already at peace with his own essence. And that, YouTube Living member, is what really makes you irresistible. So don't think of these habits as a checklist to impress someone. Think of them as tools to build your best version, living with purpose and clarity. It is this kind of transformation that attracts and inspires at the same time. Stay with me until the end of this itinerary, because you will discover the 7 male habits based on Stoicism that arouse not only desire, but respect, admiration, and even inspiration. Let's start this journey from the inside out. Habit 1. Mastery of the body, the discipline of physical activity. In Stoicism, the body is seen as an essential part of self-control. It is not vanity, but domination. A man who takes care of his body is actually training his mind. Getting up early, going to train even if you don't feel like it, enduring discomfort, all of this teaches resilience. Epictetus said that no man is free if he is not master of himself. And where does this landlord begin? In the body. Regular exercise is not just a health routine, it is a stoic act of strengthening the will in the face of the temptations of comfort. In addition, the physical form communicates something invisible but powerful. A disciplined man conveys security, focus, and control, and this is perceived by women not as ostentation, but as emotional maturity. While many waste time with distractions and self-destructive habits, the Stoic man chooses to invest in his vital energy. He understands that a strong body is support for a clear mind and a directed life. More than muscles or aesthetics, constant exercise helps reduce stress, elevate testosterone, improve mood, and refine mental clarity, all in line with the Stoics' principles of balance and temperance. Therefore, exercising is not about aesthetics or performance for others, but an expression of respect for oneself. A silent commitment to discipline, which echoes loudly in posture and actions. Habit 2, nourishing the body with wisdom. For a Stoic, every decision must be made rationally and consciously, including what we put on our plates. Eating well is an act of wisdom, not of exaggeration or deprivation. It is taking care of the body without being a slave to momentary pleasures. Seneca said, "True freedom is to be a slave to reason." And that includes knowing how to say no to foods that serve only to satisfy us for an instant, but hinder our long path of growth and stability. Men who cook for themselves, who know how to choose food, show that they do not depend on others or give themselves over to immediacy. They have intention in everything they do, including what they eat. This is extremely admirable. While many see food as something banal, the Stoic man understands that it directly influences his energy, focus, mood, and even his behavior. After all, body and mind are a single unit. Taking care of your diet also sends a clear signal: I respect myself enough to choose what's best for me. And this, perceived unconsciously, generates attraction, admiration, and connection with equally conscious people. So, YouTube Living member, before you see food as mere pleasure, see it as a decision that reflects who you are. Your diet doesn't just shape your body, it shapes your stoic identity. Habit 3. Cultivate the mind. Personal growth is a virtue. The true irresistible man is not only strong in body, he is invincible in mind, and this is built with knowledge, reflection, and continuous development. A Stoic never stops growing because he understands that wisdom is the path to excellence. Marcus Aurelius, emperor and philosopher, wrote his reflections to remind himself of what was essential: focus, virtue, purpose. He knew that greatness is not in what you have, but in who you choose to become each day. Reading books, pursuing courses, listening to wise people, that's not a waste of time. It is daily training to think better, act better, and live more clearly. A man who cultivates the mind naturally becomes more selective and more interesting. In addition, this habit protects you from empty distractions and other people's opinions. A cultured man is a free man. He does not get carried away by the fashion of the moment or external pressures because he knows who he is and what he values. Women realize this. And it's not out of status or ego, it's because such a man offers more than physical presence. He offers depth, purpose, and perspective. He is someone with whom it is worth talking, dreaming, and building. So if you want to be truly irresistible, start here. Feed your mind every day. The body attracts glances. The mind conquers hearts. Habit 4. Preserve internal energy. Positivity is a state of consciousness. For the Stoic, external reality is uncontrollable, but the internal response is 100% under our control. That's why maintaining a positive, light, and serene energy is an act of strength, not naivety. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts." A man who smiles, who doesn't complain about everything, who chooses encouragement over bitterness. He's not denying pain, he's transcending it. Good humor, optimism, and lightness are daily practices of Stoic wisdom. They are ways of not letting momentary emotions take over our spirit. That's self-control in action, and that's sexy. Men who live gratefully, who see difficulties as tests rather than punishments, become naturally magnetic. They are refugees in the midst of chaos. And who doesn't want to be next to someone like that? Nowadays, we are surrounded by pessimism, complaints, and negativity. Those who choose serenity stand out, and this choice is daily. Avoid toxic networks, consume content that uplifts, connect with nature and meditate. Being positive, therefore, is not being good vibes. It is to be resistant to external emotional turmoil. It is to stand firm as a rock in the midst of the storm. And that, member of Living from YouTube, is pure Stoicism in action. Habit 5. The power of saying no. The Stoic man understands that every yes we give to the world carries a cost. Saying no is not arrogance. It is wisdom. It is to protect your energy, your time, and your mind from everything that takes you away from your essence and your purpose. Seneca said that no wind is favorable for those who do not know where they are going. The man who says no firmly shows that he knows exactly where he is going. He does not allow himself to be dragged by empty invitations, toxic people, or habits that drain his vital energy. Saying no to a party that only leads to distraction, a meaningless relationship, or a friendship that only sucks is actually a yes to yourself. It is an act of self-love, direction, and inner clarity. This type of behavior silently conveys that this man does not live for the approval of others. And it is precisely this emotional independence that makes it so attractive to people who also have value. High-value women don't look for men who please everyone. They respect men who have criteria, who know how to choose who to relate to, what to consume, and where to spend their energy. This is conscious selection, and it's irresistible. The Stoic no is not a wall of rejection, but a filter of protection. Those who understand it grow. Those who practice it are free. And whoever masters it becomes a magnet for everything that really matters. Habit 6. True strength is in kindness. We live in times when kindness is confused with weakness. But for the Stoic, the real strength lies in mastering oneself to the point of treating everyone with respect, including those who don't deserve it. This is inner nobility. Caballerosity in this context is not a performance to impress. It is the practical manifestation of the virtue of justice, one of the 4 cardinal virtues of Stoicism. To be kind is to choose to act with honor, not convenience. A man who opens the door, who listens attentively, who speaks with respect and acts with dignity is demonstrating that he does not need to assert himself by force or aggressiveness. He already feels sure of who he is. Marcus Aurelius taught us that we are to be like the vine, which, when cut down, nevertheless bears its fruit. The gentle man is at this level of maturity. He responds with poise, without needing to fight back or prove anything. This not only makes it admirable, but also deeply trustworthy. Women of value feel this. They recognize this kind of quiet, solid, constant masculinity, one that protects without stifling, that leads without oppressing. Be courteous, not because someone deserves it, but because you choose to be a man of principle. Caballerosity, when it is born of character and not of lack, is one of the most beautiful expressions of Stoic masculinity. Habit 7. Posture speaks before words. In Stoicism, the body is an extension of the mind, and the way you move, position yourself and present yourself to the world reveals a lot about your internal state. Walking upright is more than a matter of appearance. It's a statement of identity. The Stoic does not walk with his head down because he carries within himself the consciousness of his dignity. He knows that even in silence, his posture communicates confidence, serenity, and self-control. And this is immediately captured by those around him. Many women wouldn't even be able to explain why they're attracted to certain men. But the answer lies in the small, unconscious signals. One of them is posture. The way you enter an environment says everything about your presence. Also, there is a scientific point behind it. Studies show that the way we position our body directly affects our emotional state. That is, raising your shoulders, looking ahead and standing upright changes the mind as well. This small change in posture can be used as a tool to overcome in moments of insecurity or sadness. It reinforces in you the belief that you are capable, strong, and worthy, and makes the world around you respond with the same respect. So stop now and correct your posture. Not out of vanity, but out of conscience. The way you position yourself is the first step to conquering not someone's gaze, but mastery over yourself. Often men get lost trying to be what they think women want. But the Stoic man knows that he doesn't need to mold himself to please. He just needs to be true to himself, his values, and his path. He does not live looking for external validation because his approval already comes from within. The Stoic is irresistible precisely because of this. He does not try to impress. He impresses by what he is, by what he transmits, by what he lives. This authenticity creates a natural magnetism. People are attracted to those who are at peace with their choices, who live with intention, who are not shaken by rejections because they do not depend on them to feel complete. The Stoic man is not perfect. It is under constant construction. But its direction is clear, to live with virtue, purpose, and discipline. And it's this quiet commitment to growth that makes him admired. When you begin to live like this, you naturally move away from all that is shallow and fleeting, and connect with people and situations that vibrate at the same frequency as you. Attraction becomes a consequence of your transformation. In the end, the true irresistible man is the one who doesn't try to convince, he inspires. Because instead of chasing applause, he has become worthy of the respectful silence that accompanies him wherever he goes. The biggest trap of seduction is trying to change the external without first changing the internal. Stoicism reminds us that everything starts within: our beliefs, habits, decisions, and reactions. The world responds to what you are, not to what you pretend to be. When you change the way you think, act, and position yourself, your energy changes. And the whole world begins to treat you differently, not by magic, but because you are now vibrating on another level of consciousness. This transformation does not happen overnight, but with every little choice aligned with your values, you get closer to your best version. And this journey is, in itself, magnetic. If you want to attract amazing women, real opportunities, and genuine respect, you don't have to scream for attention. You just need to live with purpose, focus, and virtue. The rest comes naturally. Stoicism is a powerful guide for this journey. He doesn't promise shortcuts, but he offers wisdom for you to walk steadily even on difficult days. And this is what builds the true male presence. So, Living YouTube member, get started today. One habit at a time, one thought at a time, and you will see that the closer you get to the man you were born to be, the more the world aligns around you, because transformation begins